Hey everyone, this is Sylvia from Beauty Cakes, and today we're going to do something a little bit different from what I usually do. We're going to sit down and have a chit chat together, and let's talk about our lives a little bit. So today I want to talk about something that I went through personally, and I find that a lot of people go through as well and have a difficult time with. It is post-grad depression or crisis. There isn't a technical name for it, but it's basically that slumming feeling that you feel after you graduate from university or college, and you kind of don't really know what to do with your life after that. So I'm not a specialist or a therapist or anything like that, and I'm not going to be able to necessarily diagnose what the problem is and be able to fix it, but I do want to talk about my experience with it to hopefully have you guys realize that, you know, you're not the only one out there dealing with it, no worries, and maybe share some advice that would help you guys get through. So I'm going to start off by telling you what I went through. So I graduated last April, and I found that during my last semester of the year, I was freaking out, feeling very anxious, and my body just was not, I guess, taking it in. I was stressing out a lot and not feeling very well. I had a lot of anxiety. I went through a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. I've actually dealt with anxiety ever since high school, but I had like mild cases where, yes, I would feel these symptoms that you get when you get anxious, but it would be bearable. But during my last half of the semester, as well as after I graduated, my anxiety was really bad. I got many anxiety attacks, probably like once every month I got an anxiety attack, and I once had to go to the hospital for it because it was just a really bad experience. And I don't think people really understand what it's like to go through an anxiety attack until they do go through it. You literally feel like you're going to die. I really don't know how else to explain it than you feel like you are going to die. You guys probably don't know that I went through all this anxiety. When you're watching my videos from the past year and being like, Sylvia, you look totally fine, you look totally normal. Well, obviously you only see a tiny portion. I'd say like 2% of my life. And I worked really hard to keep my anxiety a secret. I didn't want to tell anyone about it because, again, I didn't want to feel like I was the weirdo. Like, I didn't want to be like the only one going through something and people not understanding. My fear is that when I open up to someone, they're not going to understand and just look at me like I'm crazy. So I don't want to talk about all my anxiety and whatnot. Like, that's just a totally different story, and I don't really feel like talking about it, to be honest. But basically, I was in pretty bad condition when it came to around that time I was graduating. I was really scared because you go through your life like doing the same thing for basically 20 to 20 whatever years. You're in school all your life, and that's all you know. You wake up, you go to school, you come home. You have really not many of that responsibilities, and life was predictable. It was easy. But once you finish school, it's like a totally new world out there, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. School is something you've known for 20-something years of your life, and to be taken out of that element is like basically being from cold water to hot water. It's such a shock, and your mind is just like, what the hell is going on? I'm the type of person where I'm very driven, and I would say I'm kind of a control freak. I control every aspect that goes on in my life, and I plan everything out meticulously. I have a 5-year plan in my head all the time, and I have control of everything, and that's what gives me comfort. When I don't have control of things is when my anxiety really kicks in, so that's why I felt out of control when it came to the last part of graduating, because I did not know what I was doing in my life. And it just kind of came as a shock to me because it's like everything that I have planned up until that point has worked out perfectly. Everything has gone according to plan. But when you come out of that situation, there are so many things that you cannot control. It's impossible to hold on and plan all these things because you cannot control all these outside factors. So in my mind, the plan was to graduate, get a job in Toronto, and just be living the life downtown. That's not how things actually worked out. I moved back into my parents' home because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I did not have a job lined up, so I can't be moving downtown with no source of steady income because it costs a lot to be living here. So I went back home to my hometown for the summer, and I kind of tried to figure my life out, but I was also going through a pretty bad breakup at the time as well, which might have added to everything else. But I just felt like everything in my life was not going the way I planned, and I felt very unmotivated to do anything. It's like, yes, I could have gone and like applied to a million different jobs, but I just felt like that's not what I wanted to do. I was not ready for a 9-to-5 kind of life and committing myself, throwing myself into work. That's not what I wanted. I knew that was not going to make me happy. I even considered moving all the way to LA because I kind of just wanted to start fresh and start over. Like, that's what I tend to do when I'm scared of things that aren't happening. I just want to like start fresh all over again, but you know, that's not necessarily the case. You can't always run away from things at times. So what I ended up doing was going back to school for another degree part-time. I figured that this way I could school part-time and work part-time and kind of ease myself into the work field and the feel of a career kind of life. And I do think that was a kind of good decision. Like, I'm pretty happy with what's going on right now. It's been a year later since I graduated and I'm still trying to figure out my life. I think that the years after you graduate are just so stressful because so much changes are going on and it's not things that you're used to. And fear is what obviously hinders a person the most. So to get over these things, you really just have to not be scared. And I know that's a very, very difficult task to do. Like, it's difficult to tell yourself, hey, don't be scared of this. It's crazy. But sometimes you just have to throw yourself into situations that you don't feel comfortable in. And you know what? Sometimes things just fall into place properly. When I was gonna move back to Toronto, I didn't have the money to do it, but then I got a job offer like out of nowhere, literally a month before I was gonna move back, and it provided me with the income that was sufficient enough for me to move downtown again. So that kind of just fell into place for me. Like, there was no way that I could have made that come any faster. It just fell into place. And then as soon as I kind of got myself busy with school and work, everything kind of just fell into place a lot better. I started getting tons and tons of job offers, and my biggest stress was then, oh my god, which job offer should I take? That is also a very stressful situation because taking on a career-like job is much different than taking on a part-time job where you just go to work every day with no like real goals and projects at work. You just do your mundane work and then you come home and it's whatever. Whereas career-based jobs are like, you go to work and you work on this project, so you can't just like quit whenever you want. You have to commit to this project, and it is a very scary feeling, but I recently took on a more career-like job as well, so I'm starting that soon. And it was a very scary process for me to accept that, but you know what? I'm slowly easing myself into it and I feel a lot better about it than just kind of jumping at it right away, because I felt like I probably would have freaked out a lot more. I am a firm believer of positive energy brings positive things, so that's why I always keep myself as positive as I can be, because I feel like as soon as you're really positive about things, things just kind of fall into place and you see everything in a better light. If you're dwelling on things, then your mind is constantly seeing the negative and seeing the bad of everything. So what you have to do is change your mindset and see the positive of things so that more positive things can come to you, because you see these positive lights and this is what your mind is subconsciously looking for. If you're feeling that post-grad slum, my advice to you is to not be scared. Try to tell yourself to not be scared of things, and you have to try new things and you have to put yourself out there and you have to get your motivation back. So as much as you feel not motivated, slumming, and scared of things, you are the only person that can take yourself out of that situation. Try a new project, try a new job, apply to a bunch of places, just don't give up, and see everything in a more positive light. Once you see a more positive light of things and start bringing in more positive energy, you will find that things are starting to fall in place more. And yes, you'll still go through some struggles, but at the end of the day, things will work out. And I just want to let you know that I am here with you. I'm still going through a lot of these changes that it's making my life crazy, but you aren't the only one, and if you need someone to talk to, that I'm going to be here. Just comment below and I'll try to help you as best as I can, and we can help each other. So I know this video was kind of all over the place, but hopefully some of you guys are able to relate and we can help each other out a little bit. Anyways, I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys later.